Satan has dominated the world, crafting clever schemes designed to pull you away from the path God has set for you. It's like walking through a maze where every corner can turn into a trap if you're not careful. You might think these traps are easy to spot, big, flashing warning signs saying, "Danger," but that's not how Satan works. He's much more subtle, more cunning than that. Think about it like this. Sometimes the devil offers you short-term pleasures. They might seem harmless or even beneficial at first. It's like seeing a shiny apple on a tree. It looks delicious, doesn't it? But deep down, you know this apple isn't part of your journey. It's just there to slow you down, to keep you from reaching where God wants you to be. And the worst part, these small pleasures can lead to long-term consequences that are tough to shake off. Satan is also a master of disguise. He won't present you with something that looks obviously harmful. Instead, he dresses up temptations to look appealing, wrapping them in layers of excitement and fun. You won't even realize what's happening until you're caught. Imagine getting a beautifully wrapped gift. You tear open the wrapping paper, excited for what's inside, only to find it's not what you expected at all. That's how tricky he can be. And it's not just about obvious vices like alcohol or drugs that can ensnare you. Satan can use anything that forms an attachment or addiction. It could be binge-watching shows, obsessing over social media, or even indulging too much in comfort food. All these things might be enjoyable, but they can also distract you from your spiritual goals if you're not vigilant. Now, let's talk relationships. Satan often tries to throw you into relationships that seem perfect at first, full of love and excitement. But as time goes on, these relationships can turn manipulative, abusive, or simply distract you from your spiritual focus. At first, everything seems great, and you feel on top of the world, but the harm these relationships can cause might only become apparent when it's too late. Moreover, Satan loves to keep you busy, too busy in fact. It's a clever trick. You might end up so bogged down with your day-to-day tasks, even those that seem to revolve around good deeds or church activities, that you forget to make time for God Himself. It's like being so caught up in planning a party that you forget to enjoy it or even forget whom it's for. And yes, you can be busy doing things in the name of God and still drift away from Him. Satan uses your gifts, your busyness, against you. He nudges you to focus so much on what you are doing that you forget why you are doing it. The connection with God can get lost in the noise of your activities. He's watching, waiting for a moment of weakness. Perhaps it's when you're tired or feeling lonely or when you've just had a setback. That's when he strikes, hoping that you'll forget God's promises and give in to despair or temptation. Remember, no one is immune. Even Jesus was tempted, but also remember that like Jesus, you have the strength to overcome these temptations. It's about holding on to faith, staying aware, and continually seeking God's guidance. Stay vigilant. Stay in prayer. Keep your focus. These aren't just phrases. They are your spiritual armor against Satan's distractions. Each day is a new battle in the war for your soul, but it's a battle you don't have to fight alone. Life gets busy, doesn't it? You wake up, rush through the morning, and before you know it, you're buried under a mountain of work. It's easy to let those long work hours take over, but have you ever stopped to think about what you're sacrificing in the hustle? When you're chasing down success, constantly checking off boxes on your to-do list, it's easy to forget about the important stuff, like your relationship with God. Now, consider this. Everything you're working so hard for, your job, your money, even your relationships, can end up being idols. Yes, idols. It sounds old-fashioned, doesn't it? Like something out of a Bible story where people worship statues. But idols aren't just statues. They're anything that takes God's place in your heart. And let's be honest, it's frighteningly easy for things like money and success to sneak into that spot. Ask yourself, how much time do I actually spend with God? If you're working 12 to 15 hours a day, where does God fit into your schedule? Is there room for quiet time with Him? It's tough, I know. But remember what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, "But seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all of these things will be given to you as well." He's pretty clear about where our priorities should be. The sad thing is, while you're busy piling up those earthly treasures, you might be neglecting something far more important, your family, sure, but also your spiritual family. Fellowship with other believers isn't just nice to have, it's crucial. It's where you get built up, challenged, and supported. Yet, how often is it pushed to the back burner? Jesus warned us in Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 to 21 about storing up treasures on earth where moths and rust destroy. Instead, He urges us to store up treasures in heaven, those things that last forever, like love, kindness, and yes, our relationship with God. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. If your heart is all about work and success, where does that leave God? Now, don't get me wrong. The devil is crafty. He's not going to make it obvious that he's leading you astray. He'll make those long hours seem necessary. It's for a good cause, you'll tell yourself. But what he's really doing is keeping you so busy that you don't have time for God. And it's not just busyness he uses. Doubt is another one of his favorite tools. Have you ever felt doubt creeping in? Doubt about God's love, His plans for you, or even His existence? That's the devil at work. He knows if he can make you doubt, he can make you weak. Think about those moments when someone questions your beliefs, or when you hear that little voice in your head saying, "Do you really believe that?" It's like that time when someone might laugh at a kid for believing his dad will buy him a bike, just like in our earlier example. They focus on the family's poor finances to sow seeds of doubt. It's exactly what the devil does. He points out your failures, your shortcomings, and says, "Look, God can't possibly have a plan for someone like you." But here's the thing. God is not a man that he should lie. He's promised never to leave you nor forsake you, Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. His promises are sure, stronger than any doubt the devil can throw your way. So, what can you do? First, know the Word. Remember what Jesus said to his disciples about faith in Matthew 21, verse 21. "Truly I tell you, if you have faith and do not doubt, not only can you do what was done to the fig tree, but also you can say to this mountain, 'Go, throw yourself into the sea,' and it will be done." Your faith has the power to move mountains. Second, don't just be content with a little faith. Grow it. Stretch it. Test it. The more you know God and His Word, the less room there is for doubt. Dive into the Bible. Spend time in prayer and surround yourself with believers who encourage you to keep your faith strong. Lastly, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus. He's the author and perfecter of our faith. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. When doubts come, when you feel overwhelmed by the demands of life, remember who's in control. It's not the boss at work, not your bank account, not even your worries. It's God, and with Him, you're always on the right track. It's pretty straightforward, isn't it? You've got to keep God at the center of everything. It's like when Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, "But seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." He's not just talking about spiritual blessings. He means everything. Your job, your health, your peace of mind, all of it gets covered when you put Him first. But let's be real. The idea of putting God first can get tricky when life throws a curveball or when your schedule is packed from dawn till dusk. It's easy to slip, to start focusing on all those urgent needs that pop up. The thing is, those needs can often lead you away from God, not towards Him. They start taking up the space in your life that's meant for Him. And here's where you've got to be careful, because that's exactly what the devil is banking on. He knows that if he can get you hooked on the hustle, you'll have less time for your spiritual life. Remember, he's always tailoring temptations to fit your weakest spots. If he knows you can't say no to overworking because you're worried about money, that's where he'll hit you. But guess what? God's got your back. He promises that He's given you the ability to escape any temptation. Think of it like this. You're locked in a room and it feels like there's no way out. But if you look closely, there's an unlocked window. That's God's way out. It's there. You just have to decide to take it. Just like it says in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, "No temptation has overtaken you, except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it." Do not ignore that window. Do not ignore that way out. It's easy to stay comfortable, to keep eating that favorite food they keep serving you while you're trapped in that room. But comfort can be a trap. A spiritual trap that keeps you from living the life God wants for you. Look at the examples of Daniel, Joseph, and Samuel. These guys faced unbelievable pressures, threats to their lives even, but they stayed true to God, and He used them to do amazing things. They didn't fall prey to the distractions and perversions around them. They focused on God, and He delivered them. But then you have David and Samson. They're warnings to us. They had God's favor too, but they let their guards down. They danced to the enemy's tune and paid dearly for it. Their stories are in the Bible not just for drama, they're there to teach us what not to do. So, take a look at your own life. Have you let the devil make you his toy before? It's nothing to be ashamed of. We've all been there, but it's something to learn from. Seek God's forgiveness and ask Him for the strength to stay on the right path. It's never too late to refocus and give God the priority He deserves in your life. And always remember, with God, you're always set up for true success.